Today, our topic for our brief meditation is healthy emotional boundaries, and we'll be exploring this through awareness of ourselves, which can lead to awareness of our needs, which can help us to communicate and to cultivate healthy boundaries with time, with others, family members, patients, coworkers, our boss, if we have one, with ourselves as our boss, if we're self-employed. Today, we're focusing on cultivating healthy communication, awareness, and boundaries. So this meditation will last for a few minutes, so get comfortable. Please find your feet on the floor. Just align your spine so that you feel like your shoulders and your head are aligned over your hips. I'll invite you to have palms face up in your lap, similar to that beautiful poem that we just started with. The poem that we just touched on is allowing ourselves to create a clearing and a space and just a few minutes of downtime so that we can allow ourselves to recognize us, connect with self, so that we can hear that song. The song is us, to recognize and hear that song that is ours alone to sing, so that we can start there before we're giving and helping and doing, so that we can give and help and do from our own wholeness, from a connection to who we are, and from knowing ourselves in this moment. So let's practice knowing ourselves. I'll invite you to, if you're comfortable, lower your gaze or potentially even gently allow your eyes to close. And the purpose of that is that self-reference. And just to begin to sense, first physically, are you breathing? And as you perhaps allow yourself to breathe, no need to force it or count, just letting yourself be and breathe. Just noticing physically how you're doing. What is your energy level right now? Buoyed and higher, or is your energy a little lower? And as you sit, noticing if there's any tension in your palms and just allowing your palms to relax on your thighs, allowing your eyes and your gaze, even with lowered gaze or closed eyes, allowing the forehead and eyes to rest and relax, and allowing the tongue and the jaw to loosen and just be. No need to hold your face or your belly. Letting your diaphragm expand so that the diaphragm, that dome, can expand front and back and side to side as you let yourself breathe. Massaging your insides and every breath, allowing yourself to come into this moment. It's okay that it takes some time sometimes to arrive. And sometimes it can feel impossible to pause and to not do one or two or three things at the same time. I invite you to come into yourself and to let yourself just be for a few moments and to breathe. Noticing if your shoulders are up near your ears or halfway there, letting your shoulders, your elbows be heavy. Noticing if your knees are in some tension, holding inward towards each knee towards the other, allowing your knees to relax. No need to hold your legs or clench your feet or your toes. It's okay to sit here. It's safe to take a few moments just to check in and develop some of the self-awareness that helps us kind of know where we are and know how we're doing. And that's a foundation for us being able to be aware and speak our needs and make some of the healthy boundaries that we might be needing and wanting to cultivate. So we'll sit here and just for a moment for just 2 breaths. See if you can just Breathe. Noticing to what degree you feel safe to not do something. Safe to release your tongue and your jaw to a moment of rest. Your face, your expression, no need to control it or cultivate it. Just letting yourself, your eyes, your facial expression, mouth and tongue, to loosen and let be. So from this place, and it's okay if you don't feel relaxed, it's okay if you're not able to let yourself be still. Perhaps listening to the meditation at a future time, maybe you'll be able to do so. First, just noticing where you are. We checked in about energy and also just checking in about your needs. Are you in a place in your life where you'd like some more connection, community? Or are you in a place where you need a little bit more alone time, a little more downtime on your own? Just checking in on where you are in that spectrum. And you might be around people all the time, but you might still seek that personal, more intimate connection. Where are you in terms of needing connection? And most of the time, we need that every day, many times a day. That sense of caring, connection. And that is something that we're continuing to cultivate throughout our whole life, that connection with ourselves and that connection with others. So let's just take a moment to just be in a tender, slowed down few breaths, either simply connecting with yourself or feeling that longing, which we all naturally need to feel, which is so human, that longing to connect in a real way with other people, other beings, including animals, but also people. And making sure you do both of those things. First, yourself, just being still and caring, being there, feeling your hands, feeling your breath, just doing your best to connect inside with you. Sometimes it helps to just say quietly, silently, internally, I'm here. I'm here with you. I care about you. I'll stay here with you. And just also seeing if any of these words or any of these invitations feel comfortable or perhaps not. They could be new or they could be familiar to you. And sometimes it can be very new and even uncomfortable to be invited to have a slow and kind relationship with self, especially if you are a healthcare worker or a professional who works with clients, where oftentimes we're training ourselves and being trained by others to not pay attention and to not prioritize kindness to self. So let's just pause for a moment to see how any of this sits with you. It could feel potentially a little uncomfortable. And then feeling that sense of desire or wanting or longing to be connected in a real way to other people or other beings. Oftentimes it's more accessible to do that with an animal than it is to do it with a person. Animals are unconditionally loving. They welcome us each time we open the door. They're there. They're present. They're trustworthy. We're less likely to get hurt. And so sometimes that's where we start, or it's where we can restart that intimate connection with others, other beings. But feeling for a moment that longing to connect with other people, other two-leggeds, being able to be ourselves and be known, to know others and to be curious and get to know them, even if we've lived with them for a long time or known them for a long time as clients or whatever time frame. That longing to know and be known in a healthy way. The right amount of you, the right amount of them. Something mutual, something that feels good mutually, safe, happy mutually. Just feeling that longing and accepting that in every single relationship, whether or not it's professional or personal, and certainly the relationship with ourselves, everything is in progress. It's okay if we're not there. We haven't accomplished it. But feeling that longing to simply be and be with, and accepting we are a work in progress. And if you're listening to this meditation at a future time, feeling comfortable, if you desire to press pause on the recording and just to sit in a posture and an attitude of unconditional love, unconditional attention, an attitude of pause, creating that clearing in our life with those open cupped hands, not driving or forcing an outcome, but simply noticing and paying attention. That's the foundation for us to be aware of ourselves and to know our needs, and a foundation for us to be able to interact with others in a healthy way. And as we prepare to complete this meditation, you may have noted some things that are getting in the way of having a relaxed, open, unconditionally loving relationship with yourself. There could be some thoughts, some feelings, there could be some things that are coming up, including the idea that there's not enough time to do this. I can't do that. I'm too busy. It can also feel scary to not do anything. So noticing, acknowledging anything that might have come up today in your meditation, anything that makes it challenging or uncomfortable, just to sit with an open heart with yourself. And you might just make a note or two if there's anything that you might want to look into or talk to a friend or loved one about, or a supervising colleague, just a regular colleague or coworker. Seeing if you feel comfortable talking about how you're doing. What you're noticing you're needing. Seeing if you feel comfortable, and only if you feel comfortable, talking with someone else. We're also returning to the group in person to continue to touch these internal postures, cultivate these internal attitudes, and also see what comes after the meditation in terms of the dynamic discussion and personal sharing of being with colleagues who also have clients and patients. who are also managing time, managing expectations of others, managing clinical frameworks, very different modalities. And this group is for us to learn from each other and to practice self-compassion and to learn just those perfect synchronized learnings, just that person shares that piece from the group and how helpful that can be. And so seeing if at some point you want to continue to return to the group via Zoom for it to be live, or if you want to continue to register to receive the recording so that you can have these touch points and just see how you're doing. And when you're ready, coming back to this space, a loving space, a clearing for you to spend a few minutes in on a regular basis. And let's make a more intentional transition. So I'll invite you to raise your arms overhead and to stretch. Oftentimes that will bring in a yawn. Today, moving your body in any way that feels comfortable, perhaps stretching, noticing if you've got anything going on in your neck or shoulders, tummy, any other part of your body. Making some ankle circles, wiggling the toes and fingers, and coming back to your body and yourself and your day with as much ease and calm and support and a sense of community to the greatest extent possible. Thank you so much for joining this meditation.